Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. We say beat the gray winter months by adding a little green to your home. So welcome Lisa Graf from Graf Growers. I want to ask you, do I have any cilantro or green stuff?
No cilantro, you're safe.
Okay, I know you're a green expert, so I thought I'd go right to the top.
That's right, and it's nice to see the fresh herbs.
It really is. You know, I've got one of these jade plants in the house. It stays outside. When I bring it in, you know what it does? It flowers all winter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that a common thing?
It's a common thing as long as they get bright light.
And it does get bright light.
Yeah, and mature. Maturity, like a young plant doesn't bloom as easily as a mature plant.
I like the idea of having some smaller plants too. That one I have to roll around on two-wheelers to move it around.
That's right.
But that little plant up there, those little plants in the beginning, you can group those into something nice.
Yes, and you know, I brought this like tray and kind of put a grouping here, and it's just, it makes the plants look a little more important and add to your home in a nice way, like on an island or a coffee table or something like that. Yeah, and the burrows tail, I think it's just kind of fun. It's a succulent, and so it's easy care, easy maintenance, but they like bright light. So you have to put them in a room where you can read in the middle of the day, have some light streaming in the windows. But if you do that, you only have to water them maybe every other week. And when you do water them, you water them good, but then you just let them drain. So
sometimes you put these things near registers or heaters and that kind of stuff too. Is that a problem for these?
Not for the succulents. They like that. But I did bring like a little air plant here and then up front here, and actually air plant centerpiece over here. And those, they do like to be kept moist. So they don't have a root. They just are a little plant like this.
It's like a lily in a way. I mean, an orchid.
That's right. Yeah. And you can soak them in some water, or you can just mist them with a mister bottle. But if you do have them near a register or whatever, you'll have to mist them more often. Absolutely.
Matches your scarf.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need a little humidity in the air for that plant.
For that plant, or you provide the humidity by misting it.
I like the idea too of grouping a whole bunch of things together.
Well, you know, I put this one together specifically with the blooming plants, the cyclamen, the calancho, because in the winter, you know, our homes just get kind of dark and a little bit gray outside, and so just to brighten things up a little bit. And blooming plants last about a month, and then you have to replace them. But you could just easily pull it out and put another one in. And just a nice way to live with plants, have them look pretty in your home, and not take up a lot of space.
You know, you're so used to having them crowded and bunched together. I mean, even as some of the blossoms die, if you pull out the dead ones, it looks just as nice. It's just sort of a different look.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can thin them out a little bit.
Yes.
And what's the robin going to say about the eggs missing?
I know, it's just a little decorative, but there was a little hole there. The prayer plant tends to grow in one direction.
Prayer plant, it's called?
The one here with the little red stripes on the leaves is called a prayer plant, which is kind of a nice gift sometimes.
Yeah.
And anyways, I thought just by putting the little nest in, it kind of would hide the bare spot and kind of give a spring theme.
It's a smart thing too. I mean, you can put a little piece of art in there, or even a little piece of metal, how people do the contrast of something that's sort of rough with something delicate.
Yes, and the glass balls, you know, the friendship balls that you get at the different glass blowing places, they look gorgeous in there as well.
I go to Graf Growers and I want to put something together. Do I buy individual pots like this, or will you organize stuff for me also?
Both. Yeah, you can buy individual and put your own together. You can bring your own pot in, or we have pots there. So it really just depends. And the other thing is, like, I brought the birch log centerpiece with the air plants, and they're glued on along with moss to this birch log. And like, we have various workshops. So you have a workshop where you could make a succulent garden, but this is one of the workshops that we have coming up.
Well, that's excellent. I have an uncle named Moss.
Do you?
Yeah,
nice.
I really do. Hey, so that little thing, I like the names of some of these wild things, like burro's tail, the prayer plant. What's the little orange one called?
The little orange one is a calancho. And I brought that, there's like a little pig, and then there's some little miniature pots. And you know, maybe you'd like to have a plant on your desk, but you don't have a lot of space. They're wonderful for the office, but even for the home, like on a windowsill or something. We have seen a trend towards little plants because they look cute in little spaces.
And then we have the big plant, the last one to look at right there. This one's all twisted together.
When you think of houseplants, yes, that has a braided trunk. It's a ficus, or fiddle leaf ficus is the common name, Ficus lyrata. Very popular, like you'll see them in a lot of the decorating shows and magazines and things like that. Right now, that's one of the more popular plants, but easy to grow, does like bright light, but otherwise, you know, I think a lot of times people got away from plants because they thought they were hard to care for, but mostly light and water are your two biggest considerations
So
for them.
if you have questions, just go to Graf Growers and check it out, and
Absolutely.
bring a little green to your home before spring, right?
Yes.
Don't have to wait till spring. Graf Growers.